What's up, everybody? Welcome back to another episode of Around the Track with the Riders podcast. As usual, it is me, SterlingRider, joined with my co-host, Duke Rider.
Hey everybody, how's it going? Been a while, but we're back with some racing.
We sure are. We got not much news to cover either, but I will say, stay tuned. I have some lovely information that I will be sharing at the very end of the episode.
What do you mean, not much news? There's a ton of news that we need to talk about.
Either which way, stick out. Typical. Stay tuned until the end of the episode. I have some fun announcements. Or a fun announcement.
Cool. Looking forward to that. But we do have some news, and the first news, in my opinion, is not shocking. Shocking, but not shocking. Alex Bowman has said that he would retire at the end of 2027. Now, the reason that I say that is shocking is I was actually expecting it to be at the end of this year. But he did sign a one-year contract extension with Hendrick Motorsports. Presumably, if the rumors are true, for Connor Zillage contract to expire, and then to be able to get him over from Trackhouse. So some interesting news there. On that front, of course, we know Hendrick Motorsports has Corey Day, just waiting in the wings to move up. Of course, this is his first year in the O'Reilly Series, so what do you think about Alex retiring and the rumors of who might take that car?
Well, first off, Alex retiring, like you said, I was kind of in the same boat. Expected him to retire at the end of this season. Now, the reason he's retiring is mostly due to health concerns, but which is sad. But I do like to see that he's going to do one more year at least. Personally, I'm not a fan of him still being with HMS, but I also understand HMS somewhat has that loyalty to him as well, so I also understand 100% why. The biggest thing I would say is I don't expect him to be competitive at all. I don't expect him to be top 5 every week. I'd expect him top 15, top 20 most weeks.
Yeah, for sure. I believe they'll be building that team next year for the following year. So you'll probably see a lot of new guys on that team so that they can work out the kinks and the bugs and all that stuff as far as that goes. So what do you think about Zillage being the rumored replacement?
Well, I could see that happening. Hendrick Motorsports has had the 88, of course, forever. And Trackhouse, I believe, is being loaned that number by Hendrick for Zillage, which kind of does just make everything kind of make sense for everything to fall in place for Zillage to stay with the 88 and the same manufacturer and all that. Basically, you're just moving the team name from Trackhouse over to HMS. So I 100% see this happening. If I'm wrong, I'm wrong, but that's what it looks like. That's what makes most sense. Now, you did mention Corey Day. He's doing a really, really good job in the O'Reilly Series, but I don't think he's ready for that Cup Series style of racing yet. So that's just my opinion. I think it kind of just makes sense how the puzzle fits together with Connor Zillage coming to Hendrick Motorsports.
Yeah, and the other thing with Corey Day, Kevin Harvick mentioned on one of the podcasts the other day. I can't remember which one. I can't remember if it was Speed or the Happy Harvick podcast, but he mentioned that there is rumors circulating in the garage that Corey Day will make some starts in the Cup Series next year. Kevin didn't say with what team, but it seems like there's some speculation that it will be Spire, which wouldn't surprise me because they have a very close relationship with Hendrick Motorsports, and they also have the room to run an additional non-chartered car, kind of like 2311 is doing this year. So that's pretty good. Interesting news. Now, it was announced today that Chandler Smith would not be returning to Front Row Motorsports truck team. Rumor has it, of course this is just rumor, that he is headed to RCR to fill one of the empty O'Reilly seats over there at RCR. So that's some pretty new news that's come out. What do you think about that?
Well, I mean, we do know Jesse Love is going to the Cup Series. He's driving for the Wood Brothers next season, of course. So obviously the 2 car is opened up. That is good for Chandler Smith. Now, I think Ford is losing a good driver. I mean, he's not Lane Riggs competitive this season, but he's been up front for a lot of races. He's won a couple races this season in the trucks. So I think Ford is losing a good driver, but welcome to the good side, to Chevy, if that is the case. I think that's good. We know RCR is championship caliber team in O'Reilly's. That would give Chandler Smith really good track time and the best cars that are out on the weekend. So I think that's a big positive if that is the case. That is interesting to see, though. Of course, we've seen drivers get taken by other manufacturers, but what's Ford trying to do here if they're losing a winning driver?
Yeah, well, they're taking Jesse Love, so it's kind of pretty much Ford is getting a champion, whereas Chevrolet is getting, a race winner. So there's a big difference in that aspect there. So
that's a good point.
Pretty good trade-off for Ford, anyway.
I can agree. Yeah, I can agree with that. So that would make sense.
Yeah. So the big there was a couple re-signings. I know Todd Gilliland re-upped, which is good for that team. Trying to think of some other re-signings that have happened lately, but I'm not really sure. There have been, but there's still a lot that haven't been announced or haven't been re-signed. Noah Gragson has not been announced as to what is going on with him. Josh Berry obviously is a free agent. Nothing's been announced with him. So there's still a lot of dominoes to fall in silly season. I think a lot of people, of course, we talked about Kyle Busch earlier in the year and what we speculated was going on with him, but then we lost Kyle, unfortunately, right before the Coca-Cola 600, and that kind of took that whole domino out of the equation, right? What was Kyle going to do? Unfortunately, it does look like RCR is going to make the terrible, terrible, terrible decision of putting Austin Hill in that car next year, in the 33 car, which I think is really just a terrible, terrible idea. But it is what it is. It's not my team, so I can't make those decisions. But there's still more dominoes to fall. I think after the Kyle Busch situation, Alex Bowman was the next domino that everybody was looking for. Well, now that is in place, I think we'll start seeing more and more and more happen over the next couple, 2-3 weeks, month. A lot of them will be announced, I would think, by the end of August at the latest, as far as where they're going and stuff like that for all the drivers out there that haven't signed up.
Yeah, I mean, that would make the most sense. The chase starts pretty much at the end of August, I believe, probably beginning of September. I know we're off this week And I know Cup Series has 4 more races until the chase begins, and the other 2 series with 2 races to go. So I would definitely expect 98% of the news be completely announced by then. So yeah, but like you said, there's still a lot to happen. One of the other signings you did mention was Taylor Gray is staying with the number 54 in the O'Reillys. No surprise there, to be honest with you. But other than that, I don't think there's been other signings yet, but definitely be on the lookout for them for the next month or so.
Yeah, so in other news, there was some NASCAR news that came out this afternoon. JGR and Spire have some motions that they're going to file after discovery, and JGR is backtracking on their claim that a confidential Spire Motorsports employee had told them that Chris Gabehart was breaking the injunction that the judge had put on him, and it looks like they are having to come out and basically admit that, you know, they had no way to prove that, so they're asking for that claim to pretty much be removed from their complaint.
Yeah. I'm honestly not surprised. We knew at the beginning it was dumb, so that's about all I'm gonna say about that.
Yeah, I mean, it wasn't, you know, that big of a deal. And then in other NASCAR news, NASCAR has filed several lawsuits against, I guess, basically their you'd call them like piracy companies for basically fake merchandise using the NASCAR logo in North Carolina, which according to Bob Pockrass, they file these all the time. They filed them in New York, they filed them in Pennsylvania, they filed them in a whole lot of places. So this is nothing new, but for those of you that like to buy those knockoff t-shirts on Facebook Marketplace or some ridiculous website, be careful. NASCAR's watching.
Yeah, well, maybe charge me the same amount they're charging me, which is, you know, a quarter of the price. And people won't go to them. Just saying.
Yeah, I mean, I understand licensing issues and stuff like that. I understand it, that licensing is expensive.
Yes.
You know, because you have to pay the drivers, the teams, the sponsors, blah blah blah, a certain percentage of your license fees. So, you know, I understand how all that works, but I do have to say that NASCAR merchandise has gotten stupid ridiculous over the past several years. So you know, t-shirts are, I mean, $30 and $40 for a t-shirt. Come on, that's a good way to drive out your fan base. Not that NASCAR needs any help.
No.
We can look at the ratings for the past 20 years and see that NASCAR really doesn't need any help driving out their hardcore fans. So you know, not everybody stayed like I did, but yeah, I think that's all the news that I have. I do know that, but you're probably going to talk about this in a little bit with NASCAR 26.
Yes.
Oh, I do. Let's before we get into the racing, let's talk about the most controversial topic in NASCAR in a long time. Well, basically since the Chase playoff argument started beginning of last year when they started talking about that. NASCAR shortening races. Seems to be all the rage that people want to talk about. Kyle Larson came out and said, yeah, I think they're too long. Denny was crying about it being long in North Wilkesboro. which, honestly, that race was less than 3 hours, so I'm not really sure what he was upset about.
Yeah.
But what are your thoughts on that? We'll hear what you got to think, and then I'll...
Well, don't listen to Kyle Larson. He doesn't care about NASCAR. You know this, obviously. All he's doing is he takes the paycheck that Rick Hendrick gives him and all of the purse winnings or for wherever he finishes. Lately, it's been dead last anyway because he can't keep a car straight by himself. But all he does is he takes what he earns from Rick Hendrick and puts it into his dirt racing stuff. He has no care for NASCAR at all. So you know what I say? I say you don't get a say at all. So do with that as you wish, Kyle Larson fans, but I don't care. Now, shortening the races is obviously where I come from a big no-no. That's not, I mean, yes, the races are kind of long. I can agree with that. But 90% of it is just because we have 20 caution laps when we should have like 4. That's where the problem is. The problem isn't in the race itself. It's in the laps in between cautions. We shouldn't have stage cautions and be going back to racing on lap 12 of 80 for stage 2. That's just horrible. We should be going at like lap 4, maybe lap 5. All right. There's no need to shorten the races. That's NASCAR's set to be long for a certain point of time. That's just part of how the racing works. Are you gonna complain about F1 dragging out for a while? Probably not. Not that I watch F1, but I know some of their races get long. Are you gonna go complain that some of these GT3 races are dragging out? No, because they're supposed to be long. Those are 6, 12, and 24 hours sort of races. And there's a whole bunch of other car classes that do the same things. So NASCAR has a set amount of laps or a set amount of miles. It's actually a set amount of miles for each track, for each event. That kind of goes along with the sponsor and makes it kind of roll off the tongue when you announce it. Like the Coca-Cola 600 or the Coke Zero 400 or, Daytona 500. You get my drift here. That's what NASCAR built on. That's what NASCAR needs to continue to build on. They don't need to go back and tear up that foundation and try and rebuild with shorter races. That's just my 2 cents. If that made sense.
Yeah, I agree 100%, except for no stage cautions. Period. If the race runs from the green flag to the checkered flag with no cautions, I've got no problem with that. The car needs a lot of work. Yeah. It's not the races itself that's boring. They're the length of the races that causes it to be boring. It's the fact that this car sucks. Yes. Let's face it, this car is not a good car. It has not been a good car since it hit the racetrack in 2022. It's been terrible. It has improved the 1.5 mile racing, but that is the only place it has improved is the 1.5 mile racing. It killed super speedway racing. It killed road course racing. It killed short track racing. Okay, so if the car kills 3 of the types of venues that you race and only improves 1, the problem is not the tracks, it's not the length of the races, it's the car. This car needs to be, in my opinion, totally chunked. A new car needs to come out with a whole lot less aerodynamics, a smaller tire. If they want to stick with the lug nut, the one lug nut, that's fine, but the tire does not need to be as, that wide. It needs to be that wide. The downforce I already mentioned, needs to be, little to none. The vehicle needs to be raised up off of the ground, not stuck, glued to the ground like they are. And horsepower. There needs to be 1,000 horsepower in these cars. Now, would 1,000 horsepower work at Atlanta, Daytona, Talladega? Absolutely not. We know that would be very dangerous. That would not be good. But if you have 1,000 horsepower on your wheels coming out of the turn on a road course, you're going to have to be easy going on the throttle. So otherwise, tire management, same thing with the short tracks. That is what's going to make the racing better, not shortening the races. Shortening the races, all that's going to do is to cater to these people that are too lazy to grow an attention span. Attention spans do not come naturally. You have to grow them. You have to learn how to sit there and watch a sporting event. The NFL has no problem getting fans to watch. Okay, they are the biggest sport in America right now. They get no problem getting somebody to sit down for 3+ hours for what essentially is a 1-hour football game, right? Because you got 4 15-minute quarters, right? You don't hear the NFL saying, well, we're going to cut out the fourth quarter, so we're only going to have 3 quarters. Or you don't hear baseball saying, yeah, the game's too long, so we're going to stop after the 7th inning or the 6th inning or 5th inning or whatever. You don't hear the NBA saying, oh, we're going to cut back to we're going to be just like college basketball, and we're going to have 2 20-minute quarters, right? You don't hear that being talked about in professional sports. So if other sports aren't talking about shortening their games, why would NASCAR talk about shortening their races? They're chasing after a fan that does not exist.
Mm-hmm.
They're chasing after a fan that wants to watch a 5-minute race highlight on YouTube and go on about their business. Okay, so if that's what you're chasing, put those 5-minute race highlight videos on YouTube and let the rest of us enjoy the sport that we've loved for a very long time.
Absolutely. 100% agree. I mean, like you said, the car is the problem. I just know this by racing it on iRacing. It sucks. You can't pass with it either, especially, which we'll talk about this later on with some of the races, with some of the drivers' comments. You can't really pass with it, and it's all about the draft and aerodynamics, like you said, and that to me isn't racing. That's not NASCAR style of racing. So they need to, like you said, chunk this car, rebuild. I understand also trying to be more modern with the car styles, but at the same time, you can do that and still make some really cool race cars. I mean, we saw it, the Gen 4s. You go look at the Gen 4s, they look nothing like their actual street legal cars, but they were still awesome. So we already know it's capable. They just need to listen to actual fans to go do it. So.
Yeah. And on that note, we talked about the car. There is starting to be some pushback on the number placement. Again, a lot of fans are starting to speak up, and it really started with Mark Martin the other day saying, what do we need to do to make the new cars look good? That kind of got quite a bit of conversation started back up about the number placement. So if NASCAR is listening to the fans like they claim they're listening to the fans, they'll realize, we're not going to shorten races. We're not going to put up with this car much longer, and we need it to look like a NASCAR race car.
Absolutely, I agree. Let's do it. Put the number back, please. These cars look so stupid with the number forward. I've been unpacking this week, and I pulled out my Chase Elliott 2020 All-Star race win, and that you remember that's when they put the number near the back tire. And I was like, this looks even more stupid as I'm looking at the diecast. I'm like, what is NASCAR thinking about these number placements? Just put it on the door where it goes.
Yeah, right? Exactly.
So, but yes. Anywho, got some races to talk about. Some were good, Some were eh. Some were great.
And some were great.
Yeah, I was about to say, some were great.
So we start, I know we're a little bit behind. We've been doing that a lot this season, but we start with Lime Rock Park with the NASCAR Craftsman Truck Series. And I'll just say that it was a road course race in the Truck Series. It wasn't anything to really write home about, as they say. This is a 100-lap race, okay? There were 7 cautions for 39 laps.
Yes, there were.
So almost half of the race, they were 11 laps short of half of the race being run under caution. Now, here's the problem with that. 3 of those laps were for the stage 1 caution, and stage 2 caution was 3 laps. Okay, so 6 of those 39 laps were from the stage cautions. I know we just talked about that. I'm going to kill my cat here in a minute because he keeps knocking my phone off the desk because it's plugged in and he keeps grabbing the cord. Yeah, so only 6 of those 39 laps were because of the stage cautions. It's a little ridiculous. Of course, this is what we've come to expect from the Truck Series, right? They cleaned up a little bit at the beginning of this year, but yeah, this was ridiculous.
Yeah. Yeah. It was a very, very chaotic truck race. I honestly don't have much to say except that. And then, I mean, because of that chaos, front runners were taken out and somebody else got the win. Stage 1 went to Lane Riggs. Stage 2, Caden Honeycutt. But your race winner was Grant Infinger. I mean, you can't be mad about it. You know, right place, right time. There's so much going on. Especially at a road course. It's almost anybody's race down to the finish line. Just because how, especially at Lime Rock, because that's one of the, like, goofiest NASCAR road courses, I would say. Or, yeah, road courses, I would say. Yeah, Grant Infinger gets it done, snapping his winless streak. I forget how long it was.
It was 40 races?
Something like that, I believe. But Landon Lewis, second place. Really, really good run by him. He was up front pretty much most of the race, around the top 10, and ended up second. So great job by him. Caden Honeycutt finishing third. Parker Kligerman fourth. Christian Eckes fifth. Daniel Hamrick sixth. Andre Perez de Lara seventh. I didn't even know he was racing in that race, to be honest with you. Tanner Gray 8th, Stuart Friesen 9th, and Colin Braun at 10th. So,
yeah, that's the highest Dodge was Colin Brown in 10th place. So Dodge is struggling. They continue to struggle. A 10th place finish is kind of like a win for them this season, but I don't think. I know Chris Rice said something about they were using old trucks. So, but they were going to start rolling out their own trucks here pretty soon. I can't remember exactly what race he said they were going to start doing that at, but let's see if when Dodge starts coming out with their trucks, when good Lord, the name of the team just totally slipped my mind for whatever reason.
Colleague?
Yeah, sorry, wow. When Colleague Racing starts rolling out their own trucks that they've been building, we'll have to wait and see if there's any improvement there. But I really hope there is, because I would love to see Dodge be successful.
Absolutely. And with this happening, it could be a big excuse me, my brain just didn't want to think of the word. Big step forward for sure, but also it could be a step back. But I mean, we've seen Dodge struggling most of the season, but I wouldn't hold it against them. It's their first season back. They're in trucks. Yes, they got some solid drivers, but you still got to work out a lot of the trucks kinks, and just the first time being back out on track. So I would give it some time still, but I would definitely say once they start doing their own Dodge coming out with their own trucks with the team, I bet it will be 10 times better. So
yeah, we'll hope so. Then we move to, I'm going to call it Atlanta. I can't call it Echo Park Speedway. It's Atlanta Motor Speedway in Hampton, Georgia, sponsored by Echo Park. How about that?
There you go.
And we have the O'Reilly's race. Again, another disaster. 13 cautions for 76 laps of a 172 lap race. I don't think it was supposed to be a 172 lap race. I think they went into green, white, checkered. But again, we get 40% of the race about run under caution. That's not good.
Mm-hmm. Not at all. Yeah. I was kind of shocked at how chaotic it was, but super speedway style, some sort of still super speedway style racing. Yeah, there was a lot happening.
And the thing about this track, though, that we don't have at Talladega and Alabama, or at Talladega and Daytona yet, is we've never really had at Talladega, but we used to have at Daytona, is Atlanta is starting to become a handling track. That surface is wearing out, so it's starting to get slick, so cars aren't glued to the track anymore, so it's handling issues, and they're not used to that yet, especially in this lower series. They're not really used to cars getting out of control, and I think that's what caused a lot of the issues that we saw on this particular weekend, was the fact that the race is starting to get character again.
Yes.
So they're going to have to learn how to drive it totally different than they've been driving it up to this point.
And I 100% agree. I mean, we saw when we were at Atlanta for the first time this season, we saw a lot of cars getting sideways. I mean, we saw a really big save even by Raja Karuth when we were there last. And the same happened again this time, only nobody could really keep it straight or straighten it back out. Most people either overcorrected or just didn't get it back straight, causing a lot of checkups and wrecks. So I would agree, and handling is a big thing. It's a super speedway with tight turns, so you got to turn very sharp, but you can still turn too much or not enough, and it's going to completely throw that O'Reilly's car off for sure.
Yeah. Well, and this was surprisingly not an RCR race. This was a race that Junior Motorsports pretty much dominated. So didn't really see Austin Hill or Jesse Love up front really at all.
No,
so
not till Austin Hill wrecked.
Very unusual. Well, yeah. But again, that's very uncharacteristic of that team, and very also uncharacteristic of Junior Motorsports working so well together. They're usually wrecking each other. So
yeah.
We kind of had a, Jesse Love and Austin Hill weren't able to work together. Got caught up in a couple incidences, and then Junior Motorsports is able to figure out how to work together and basically dominate this race.
Absolutely. As you said, it's kind of new, different. But I mean, also Junior Motorsports has about 5 cars on track where RCR has 2. So if you get those 5, figure it out and hook up and go, you're gonna have a really good race. So Carson Kvapil, stage 1, Justin Allgaier, stage 2, and then for the win, Justin Allgaier getting it done, but Carson Kvapil right behind him in second. Parker Retzlaff with a good run, finishing 3rd. William Sawalez 4th. Anthony Alfredo 5th. Garrett Smithley 6th. Brandon Jones 7th. Brandon Jones also had the fastest lap of the race. Kyle Seeds 8th. Raja Caruth 9th. And Jeremy Clements, your top 10. Like I said, with Junior Motorsports, you got 3 right there in the top 10. I believe the others were taken out in that Austin Hill wreck, if I'm not wrong.
Yep. And then you also have Parker Retzlaff and Anthony Alfredo there for Viking Motorsports, with the team's first ever time to have 2 cars in the top 5. So it's pretty awesome to see a fairly young team come in and perform the way that they're performing this year. These 2 drivers they finally are in a position where they can actually show their talent. And it's not just on these drafting tracks either. They have done it on road courses. They've done it on the regular mile and a halves. They've done it on short tracks. So it's really good to see these young teams be able to come in and compete in the O'Reilly Series.
Absolutely, and that's what you want to see, because it's so much harder to come in with a young team and be up front right, sort of right off the beginning. So
all right, moving on to the cover.
Rainy Snooze Fest. Woohoo!
I meant crap race. I really did. This was not the exciting race that I was looking forward to.
Not at all.
It just really wasn't. I know people are saying, "Oh, this is probably the greatest race of the season." Blah 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 blah. I was not impressed. Yeah, I guess I'll just leave it at that. I was not impressed. I did not like the race. I like the race because I like all the races, but I just was not impressed. I did not think it was the race that everybody made it out to be. That's for sure.
Yeah, this race was kind of one of those bleh kind of races where it happened, you enjoyed watching it, but it just wasn't exciting. Just about every race is exciting, no matter who's really up front. Less exciting, of course, if it's not your favorite driver, but this was a Ryan Blaney show. Swept the stages. We go to red flag to weather for a long time. I had gone to bed before they even got back to racing. And normally I'm still up for, red flag races. I'm not sure quite when the race ended. I think it ended somewhere around 2 a.m. in the morning. And I only kind of figured that out because Ryan Blaney was on his victory winnings, basically. Got a custom Harley Davidson basically as a trophy, and was ripping it around at about 2:30 right after the race around the track. I will say that was kind of cool to watch. I don't like Harleys. I'm not exactly a Ryan Blaney fan, but seeing him rip around Atlanta was kind of cool. But yeah, this race was just not it, in my opinion. I actually normally enjoy the Atlanta races. I enjoyed old school Atlanta. I just enjoyed new Atlanta. But this one was just not worth it. So, I mean, yeah.
Yeah.
So
let's see. Ryan Blaney won. Christopher Bell second. Hostfar with a good showing in third. Ty Gibbs fourth. Eric Jones fifth. SVG sixth. Very good run by SVG. Austin Dillon in seventh. Good run by Austin. Tyler Reddick in eighth. Joey Logano, boo, in ninth. And Chris Buescher in 10th. That is your rundown for Atlanta. And then we move.
You want to know who had fastest lap? This may be wrong.
Blaney, wasn't it?
No, it was not.
Who was it?
It was Cody Ware.
That's right. He did get the fastest lap. But when you have the slowest car on the track and you're able to catch a draft,
yeah,
you could be the fastest car on the track. And
still not move anywhere in positioning. So just keep that in mind too.
Oh yeah, no kidding. Then we move to North Wilkesboro, the first points-paying race of the Cup Series since 1996. But before then, we had a truck race. I don't know why Xfinity is not there on this weekend. Or O'Reilly, I'm sorry. O'Reilly needs to be at this track.
Absolutely.
With these other two series.
Yes.
I love that the Cars Tour is there with them. That's great. There's no reason we cannot have a Truck O'Reilly doubleheader on Saturday. Let the Cars Tour have their Thursday and Friday like they have had. Let's run a doubleheader on Saturday. And then we got the Cup race on Sunday. There's no reason whatsoever that the O'Reilly Series cars are not there outside of bad decision making.
Absolutely. I mean, I would just say I would love to see the O'Reilly cars go around North Wilkesboro. I think that would be one heck of a race, one heck of a show. I would believe there'd be battles all over the place, unlike the Cup Series race. It would just, I mean, as usual, but, this is very usual, but it would have been the absolute best race of the weekend if they were there. And I remember reading on Twitter, X, whatever you want to call it, a lot of hardcore fans, you included, were trying to figure out why wasn't the best series of NASCAR racing at one of the biggest tracks, what is now one of the biggest tracks since we have returned, especially with the Cups having their first points race in many, many years. Why weren't the O'Reilly series at the track? Doesn't make sense to me.
Yeah.
Maybe we'll see a change in the future. I would love to see a change in the future. I think, like I said, I think it would be an absolute amazing race. So.
Yeah, for sure. It would definitely be the best race of the weekend. But we'll be honest about this truck race. It was a good race.
It was
a little bit of a good old-fashioned butt kicking, that's for sure. Chandler Smith just went out there and laid it down on them, and it was the largest margin of victory on a short track in Truck Series history.
Wow, didn't know that.
So, basically the rest let's see, there were only 10 cars on the lead lap, 10 trucks on the lead lap, and most of those were 3/4 of a lap down when Chandler Smith crossed the finish line. So I mean, that was a good old-fashioned butt whooping that he laid on them there.
Absolutely. And that was pretty much all done in stage 3 as well, because, I mean, Lane Riggs had stage 1, Ty Majeski stage 2. But as you said, Chandler Smith winning the race by almost 8.5 seconds on Lane Riggs. That's about half a track length at North Wilkesboro. So, yeah. But yeah, this was a good race. I enjoyed it for sure. I was kind of upset Carson Hocevar was up front and then had some issues with the truck. Ended up 27th because of that. But yeah, it was a good race. Chandler Smith wins the race. Lane Riggs second. Shane Van Gisbergen third. I think I said that right. I don't know. SVG.
Yep.
Christian Eckes fourth. Landon Lewis fifth. Gio Ruggiero sixth. Chase Elliott seventh. Stuart Friesen eighth. Corey Heim ninth. And Ty Majeski 10th.
Yeah, that is Corey Heim's worst Truck Series finish of the year. In the races that he's won.
And that was ninth, ladies and gentlemen. Ninth.
Yeah.
That's his worst? Wow. Just think. Who is this guy?
Yep, that is his worst.
Of course, we'll talk about more about him here in a couple more races, but, you know. Yeah, now for, I would say, more of a snooze fest, even though I was super excited. And I really just say that because... Sorry, you were saying?
I was going to say it was another butt kicking. Old-fashioned short track racing butt kicking. Unfortunately, it was a driver that we're not particularly fond of that did the butt kicking.
Yeah. Yeah. So, I mean, I will say it was great. It was a good race. Probably the coolest moment was SVG taking the race lead from Denny Hamlin. And I don't know if you've seen the clip, but he goes, "I'm leading. What do I do now?"
Yeah, exactly. Yeah.
And of course, Spotter was like, "I don't know. Keep going straight, I guess." Pretty funny radio moment. I laughed really, really hard when I saw that clip.
Oh yeah.
That was,
yeah, for sure.
That was funny. But I will say, you don't expect SVG to be up front at a short track. You could kind of see it at an intermediate track. At certain tracks, you can see it at super speedways and, of course, road courses. Short tracks takes a little bit more, but at the same time, I could also see it. Short track has a lot of that braking, kind of like some road courses do. So, also, I mean, you could see it either way. But great run by SVG. I mean, he led a lot of laps. You can definitely tell he is going to become a very big contender on these ovals in the near future.
Yeah, if he figures out oval racing, he's going to be very dangerous. You know, because and again, we talked about Connor Zillage staying with Trackhouse versus maybe going to, you know, the big rumor with him going to Hendrick Motorsports, right? What are the chances that SVG continues to improve in this car on these ovals, and Trackhouse continuing to fumble like they have this year? I mean, they're just, Ross Chastain is not running good. No. Connor Zillage is having a nightmare of a rookie season. So yeah. SVG is their only bright spot. But eventually, one of two things is going to happen. The other two are going to catch up to SVG and start running good again, or SVG is going to fall off back to Ross Chastain. And it's not going to be SVG's fault. It's going to be the equipment's fault, right? Because he's starting to figure this stuff out. This just goes to show him. You give him, of course, qualifying got rained out, so he got to start near the front. Mm-hmm. Okay, so you give him track position, and you give him a good car, and he's able to perform with that. So they need to figure out how to qualify up front on weekends where they have to go out and qualify. If they're able to do that, I really think that SVG can become very dangerous on these ovals.
100%. Yes, absolutely. Yeah, like you said, Ross Chastain has not been performing well at all. Connor Zillage having the absolute rookie nightmare. Um, but SVG being up front in good equipment most races, he's one of the all but the one road course, which was Coda. So yeah, if he figures it out, he's gonna take off. But at the same time, we could see him fall back due to equipment, and that's not something I want to see, to be honest with you. But yeah, so.
But yeah, well, let's talk about the rookie moment by a longtime professional, Alex Bowman, wrecking Tyler Reddick. Tyler's coming out of the pits. They call for Alex to pit, and Alex comes down on Tyler, wrecks in the middle of the pit cycle, traps 3/4 of the field, at least one lap down, many of them 2 laps down, and most of those teams were unable to recover because there wasn't the cautions to get them back on the lead laps. So if you look at the top 10 for stage 1, most of those in the top 10 for stage 1 got caught. There was just a few of them that, and the only reason they weren't caught with this is because they were either only 1 lap down and was able to take the wave around, or they had not yet pitted. When Alex Bowman, and I don't just blame Alex, I blame the whole team, the crew chief, the spotter, Alex, for not being aware, but the bulk of the blame here lands on Alex Bowman's shoulders, because he should be well aware of the vehicles that are around him. But this was a rookie move.
Yes, absolutely. I mean, and I'll say this also falls on the spotter as well, but you should always know your surroundings, no matter where they are. I mean, car behind you, car beside you, car quarter panel, front bumper, whatever. You should always know. The spotter should have been telling Alex, which I believe he probably was, 45's coming on track, coming up the track out of the pits. Alex should have been like, okay, if that's the case, I cannot get down to the pits. I'm going to have to go around one more lap. That would have been the smart move. It would have sucked strategy-wise, probably, but that's what you got to do sometimes to avoid these mistakes, and that's not what happened. Alex was like, okay, well, I'm just going to take a turn, I'm just going to turn left and go down the pits and hope for the best, I guess. And we see what happened, and that track, like you said, most of the field down, including all 3 of his teammates. And neither of those teammates, were able to recover. So not only that made himself look bad, it made the rest of the team look bad. That's not good.
Yeah. No, for sure. And I'll actually go one further. I called this a rookie mistake. I'm going to call it an iRacing rookie mistake, because people that drive real race cars should never make this mistake.
Nope. I can agree with that. So, but yeah, Ty Gibbs, stage 1. Joey Logano, stage 2. Pretty much once that caution came out, it was the Joey Logano show, and Joey Logano winning the race. I will say Denny Hamlin gave him a couple laps of contesting, but not quite enough to get around Joey. So Denny ended up 2nd, Chase Briscoe 3rd, Ty Gibbs 4th, SVG with a really good run, like we mentioned, Indy, finishing 5th. Bubba Wallace 6th, Brad Keselowski 7th, Todd Gilliland 8th, Daniel Suarez 9th, and Ryan Preece your top 10. Now I will say at the end of the race, only 6 cars were on the lead lap, and 3 of them were on their way to be lapped. So We almost.
Yeah,
We
it
were,
was definitely a good old-fashioned butt whooping.
yeah, this is the type of races we want in NASCAR. Get rid of the stages. If this is how every single race is, so be it. This is what we want. This is what true racing is to us. Get rid of the stage.
And
stuff.
even though we don't like the winner, even though we're not fans of the winner, because it wasn't one of our drivers, it was still good old-fashioned racing. It was what used to happen, back before they made everybody equal and before they had stage breaks and stuff like that. This is what you saw a lot, and everybody was like, "Well, yeah, but that's not much of a race with there only being one car in the lead on the lead lap." Well, you know what? If somebody can build a car that's that dominant, especially with these kit cars that they have now, if somebody can build a car that's that dominant, then whether you love them or hate them, they just did what they get paid to do.
Yep. It's part of the job. That's all I can say. That is part of the team's job. It's to bring the best race car every weekend.
Yep. So, on that note, we move to Indianapolis, and we start with the Craftsman Truck Series at Lucas Oil Indianapolis Raceway Park. Great track. I've always loved IRP. I really think the O'Reilly Series needs to go back to IRP and get off of the big track. I agree with what Kevin Harvick said on his podcast. He said that the big track is for IndyCar and the NASCAR Cup cars only. It is a very special track, and only certain series should be running on the big track. Mm-hmm. But we did have a truck race, which is really another butt whooping because Lane Riggs led all but 2 laps in this race. But again, it was a good race. It was entertaining.
Yes.
There was 3 cautions for 25 laps. 2 of those being stage breaks, which were ridiculously long.
Yes.
But either which way, this was a really good truck race.
It was. I enjoyed this truck race. I enjoyed it so much I even went and watched extended highlights. That was like another extra 20 minutes of, I mean, it's basically the summary of the race, but it was so good I went to watch it anyway. Plus, I sometimes pick up on news that I don't always catch, which I am going to mention because I tweeted about this. Because it doesn't make sense to me how you're going to tell somebody because they went behind a garage they are no longer eligible for bonus points. I don't think that should be a thing. The 91 truck...
That is a Kyle Larson rule, because if you remember a couple years ago, it might have been last year, Kyle Larson had problems, I want to say it was at Sonoma, and they went behind the wall. They basically put a whole new front clip on the car, put new tires on the car. He went out there and ran a lap by himself and got the fastest lap. So NASCAR made the rule that in order to get the fastest lap, you have to be on the lead lap when you get that lap. If you get that lap early in the race and nobody beats you and something happens and you go behind the wall, you still get credit for that lap. If you get it after you've been off track, then you are not eligible for it. So it does make sense. It is a good rule because it keeps teams from taking a car that might not pass inspection for whatever reason and going behind the wall and coming, they get into a wreck or whatever, and they just kind of manipulate the car to get the fastest lap. So, which is kind of what Kyle Larson's team did in order to get him that point.
Okay, I can see that. I'll be honest, but yeah, now that you kind of explained it, it makes more sense to me. But I will say the 91 having mechanical issues. One of them being the batteries. I don't remember what the other one was, but it was a little more major than that. But basically, they took it behind the wall, fixed that issue, and brought it back out and said, "We're just gonna go for the fastest lap and be done." To at least get a point. But I guess again, they were no longer eligible for that because of what happened. Now that's kind of been more explained. I kind of see it. I understand it. So I'll leave it at that. But yeah, like you said, Lane Riggs dominated the race, sweeping both stages and winning. It's really, really good by him. Connor Mozak finishes in second. Really, really good run for him. Ty Majeski third. Chandler Smith fourth. Nicholas Sanchez fifth. Stuart Friesen sixth. Caden Honeycutt seventh. Gavin Boschel.
Okay.
Sounds like I'm saying a cuss word in Italian, but okay. Sorry that we butchered your name, because I know I did. And eighth, Tyler Ankrum ninth, and Michael Christopher Jr. 10th.
Yeah, so good to see Nick Sanchez back. He kind of got a raw deal with AM Racing and their situation in the O'Reilly Auto Parts Series. So good to see him when he was able to get an opportunity to get on the track, because he proves that he can get it done.
Yes.
I'd like to see Spire put him in a truck full time next year. They got a couple seats available. Give him that ride. Give him that chance.
And I believe that's a good idea. So
then we move over to the big track and the O'Reilly Series race, and again the best race of the weekend. So much so that the runner-up of the Brickyard 400 was asked, or the third place car, sorry, of the Brickyard 400 was asked what it would take to make passes, and he said an O'Reilly Series car.
Yes. I love that.
So don't like the person that finished that third, don't like the person that said it, but I agree with him 110%. For once. So but man, this race was really, really good. I really enjoyed this entire race, and those last few laps were pretty amazing as well.
Absolutely. It was wonderful to watch. So I mean, we had passing throughout the field, but we also had some butt whoopings. Once you kind of got far out enough, you kept your spot, and we saw that with some of the leaders during the race. So it was a good mix. That's the best racing you can get.
Yeah, and you had two stage winners that you wouldn't normally expect to be stage winners, with Jeremy Clements winning the first stage, and then of course Rajah Caruth. You expect Rajah to run up front, but this particular week he was in the 32 car for Jordan Anderson Racing. He wasn't in the usual 88, so that is a Junior Motorsports prepared car, but he does not seem to run as well in the 32 as he has in the 88 this year. So to see him get those stage points is very, very much needed in his hunt to get into the chase.
Mm-hmm.
But it's good to see that. It was good to see Jeremy win the stage. I really hate that he ended up getting caught up in some mess and didn't have a very good finish. He finished 37th out of 38th, but at least they knew he was there because he won stage one.
Yep, they sure did.
So yeah, Junior Motorsports top 4 for the first time in series history, with Carson Kvapil getting his first win. Pretty impressive with Carson He's been close on several different occasions. And here we are at one of the biggest racetracks that he could race on in his career. And not only that, but he also holds off Justin Allgaier, who's a past champion, who was breathing down his neck those last few laps.
Yep.
Followed by Ross Chastain and Chase Elliott as your top four. Lionel Racing is putting together a 1 through 4 164 set to commemorate this first time in history that they've done the 1, 2, 3, 4 with Junior Motorsports. William Sawalich in 5th, Brett Cruz in 6th. We haven't mentioned him the past few weeks.
We have not.
The past few races because he's had some issues.
Yep.
And with Corey in 7th, Sheldon Creed 8th, Brandon Jones 9th, and Austin Hill in 10th. So, but again, I will say it, the best race of the weekend.
Yes, it was. Absolutely. Really great to see Carson Kvapil pick up his first win. On top of that, being at Indianapolis has got to be a huge moment as well. On top of that, and on, you know, even to add on to that, for the Kvapil family, his brother, I believe it's his brother Caden, had won the Cars Tour race as well.
Yep.
Who also drives for Junior Motorsports. So it was a Junior Motorsports Kvapil family celebration pretty much the rest of the night. So you love to see it. You love to see families like that race together succeed together. It's really, you know, heartwarming, and you just love to see it. So
yeah, for sure. So I guess we'll move to the snooze fest of the weekend, the Brickyard 400. Yeah, not too thrilled with this race. I did, on Jeff Gluck's Good Race poll, I did vote yes. And the reason I voted yes was because it's the Brickyard. That's the only reason it gets a yes vote from me, is because it's the Brickyard. Was the race good? It was okay. It was not great. I've seen better. Of course, as we mentioned earlier, Joey Logano, who finished 3rd, mentioned, you know, when they asked him, they said, what did you need to be able to pass Christopher Bell and Corey Heim? And he said, an O'Reilly Series car. And Christopher Bell probably could have made that same comment, because you go back and you watch what happened on Saturday with Carson Kvapil being able to pass Justin Allgaier in basically the same situation that you had Corey Heim and Christopher Bell in on Sunday, and Christopher Bell wasn't able to do anything, even though he was clearly the faster car.
Yeah.
But yeah, I mean, I don't really feel bad for Christopher Bell because he screwed his teammate Denny Hamlin out of the lead anyway. So by not giving him the push that he needed on that final restart, so you know, can't feel bad for Christopher to begin with. But just not the greatest race.
No.
But Ty Gibbs won stage 1, Ross Chastain won stage 2, and I'm really going to say nobody's surprised Corey Heim's able to pull off the win. You know, he won back at San Diego, but this is a crown jewel race, and the kids won 2 races. The second one was a crown jewel, and he's not even a full-time Cup Series driver yet. So,
and so I'm gonna say 2 things here. First off, I mean, Corey Heim's a wonderful race car driver. We saw him dominate Truck Series last season, and still almost didn't get the championship because of stupid playoffs, but thankfully he did. We know how good he is out on the track. But I don't think he would have won this race if you could have passed. In his interview on, I think it was George Bumper Clear, if I'm correct, they asked, how could you make up positions? Excuse me. He literally said, by having a shorter fuel stop pit. That's not how these cars should work at all. And we've already touched on this. Just to add more of things that is wrong with this car and that they need to junk it. But I will say the second thing is, this is just another lovely right hook to NASCAR. Right in the face. Because of the lawsuit. And, like we mentioned, he's not even a full-time driver this year. He will be next year. That has been announced for 2311. He'll be in the 35 car. But, yeah. So.
Yeah, and 2311 is the winningest team this year.
Yep.
Between Tyler Reddick and these two from Corey Heim, that's 7 wins. That's an amazing amount of races to win, especially when 2 of those are from a part-time driver. He's going to be, one of 2 things is going to happen next year. He's going to have an amazing rookie season, or he's going to have a Connor Zillage rookie season. Yep. Where the wheels fall off and they can't do anything right, and every time you turn around, they're hitting something. Yeah. So one of those 2 things is going to happen. But it is funny that you mentioned the lawsuit, because the other race within a race was the mid-season championship, bracket championship, won by a Mr. Todd Gilliland over a Ryan Blaney, because a Mr. John Hunter Nemechek decided to go where there wasn't any room and wreck Blaney.
Yeah, I would also blame that on Blaney and his spotter as well. I would say John Hunter Nemechek was kind of already there going into the corner, and Blaney just kind of came down on him as John Hunter Nemechek sent it into the corner. That's what it looked like to me on the replays. And when it happened on track. So, but, oh well. As you mentioned, Todd Gilliland winning the in-season bracket challenge, which I don't think anybody had planned. Maybe a couple people. And
yeah, I think NASCAR said there was 4, if I remember correctly, 4 brackets that had Todd Gilliland winning.
Yeah.
Of course, everybody's bracket was blown on week 1 or week 2.
Right.
Because of Tyler Reddick mainly.
It was week 1.
Tyler.
Yeah. So
yeah, I think after week 1 they said there was no perfect brackets.
Week 1, right after Sonoma, there were absolutely 0 perfect remaining.
Because of Tyler Reddick.
Yeah.
Tyler Reddick did us all in, but then out of what was remaining, only 4 had Todd Gilliland winning. So too bad they weren't able to pick the perfect bracket, because if they were, high bragging rights, I guess. I don't know if there was any kind of, I don't think the fans have anything. There's anything on the lines for the fans anyway to begin with. So,
no, to win, you have to have the perfect bracket. So to really win, I think you might just get bonus fantasy league points if you don't have the perfect bracket, but you have the right driver or something. I don't know. But
yeah. But let's talk about the other elephant in the room, the 5 car. Again, on his own. Yes, he blew a tire, but on his own, by himself, nobody around, leading the race, or well, about to lead the race after Corey Heim would have pitted. Kyle Larson wrecking again, changing the entire complexion of the race.
Yep. Yeah, Larson, just go to dirt racing. I don't think you're fit for NASCAR anymore. I will say you won the championship in 21. I mean, you dominated that season. last year was, as I would call it, a bubble ring or bubble championship, which is, the 5 championships LeBron has as well. So we all agree he should not have won that championship last year, unless you're a hardcore Kyle Larson fan, and then something's wrong with you, Trey. So I think Kyle is at that point where once his contract ends, I don't think Hendrick may sign him again. Just because of the previous, couple seasons, even last season, he was horrible. And, because of that win in your end, he got a win and was somehow able to make it all the way to the championship, and then lucked into the, winning the championship. So I don't know when his contract's up. It's probably 28, 29. But I don't expect Rick Hendrick to hold on to him after that.
Yeah. We'll have to wait and see on that one. But Corey Heim gets his second win, followed by Christopher Bell, Joey Logano, Chase Briscoe, Denny Hamlin, Brad Keselowski with a good run. He needed that. Mm-hmm. Josh Berry with a good run. He needed that as well. Same with Ryan Preece, Karsten Hocevar, and Tyler Reddick rounding out your top 10. Yes. And that is it for our races.
So I want to look at standings real quick, because we already got some chase spots clinched in all 3 series. In the truck series, Lane Riggs, Caden Honeycutt, Chandler Smith, Christian Eckes, and Gio Ruggiero are already clinched into the chase, and that's already half of the spots. There's only 10 for the truck series, and that was 5 right there. And I would say it's a pretty tight battle. 6 is still looking pretty good, but from 7th down to honestly 14th is still kind of anyone's game, depending on how well you run. Right now you got Ty Majeski in 6th, who's looking pretty good. But then you got Ben Rhodes, Grant Enfinger. I'm sure the Lime Rock win was a big help for him there. Daniel Hemrick and Stuart Friesen above the cut line, but right underneath you got Tyler Ankrum, Jake Garcia, Andre Perez, and Brendan Queen. So
yeah, all within 20. Well, Brendan's kind of bagged, but there's 2 races to go, so yeah, it's a possibility.
So, and then in the O'Reilly series, we have over half of the spots clinched. Justin Allgaier, he had it a few weeks ago, actually. Carson Quapple, Jesse Love, Sheldon Creed, Corey Dade, Brandon Jones, and Austin Hill, all with clinched spots, leaving only 5 spots remaining. And I would only say 10th through 14th, I would say, is the close battle there. Sammy Smith in 8th with 3 behind 358. Parker Retzloff in 9th, 397. But then you got Sam Mayer, Brent Cruz, Taylor Gray, William Sawalich, and Raja Karuth all right there. With Sawalich and Karuth right under the cut line, and it's only by Caruth's only 20 points under. So come on, Raja, I believe in you. Now, not near as many in the Cup Series, but we do have a quarter. Denny Hamlin and Tyler Reddick, no surprise there with the seasons they've had. But Ryan Blaney and Ty Gibbs are also clinched in. Now, they mentioned this after the Brickyard, but 5th through 10th is all very, very close in points. Carson Hocevar, Chase Elliott, Chase Briscoe, Kyle Larson, by some surprise. Chris Buescher and Christopher Bell all right there within each other. But then you've got 11th through 16th pretty close as well. Daniel Suarez, William Byron, Joey Logano, Bubba Wallace, Shane Van Gisbergen, and Austin Cindric. However, those below the cut line are probably going to need a really, really good weekend to make it above. Ryan Preece is 38 points behind the cut line, if I did my math right there. And Eric Jones is 6 points behind Ryan Preece. So obviously it's doable. Brad Keselowski right there along a couple more points behind as well at 19. Still possible. Don't count them out just yet, but they're going to have to be at their A game for the rest of the regular season to make it in. So I just wanted to point out that spots were clinched, and how many were clinched. I think that's kind of important with the chase format.
Yeah.
Not that we're fans of it, but it's better than the win and you're in stuff.
Yep. Well, we would talk about the chase format, or the chase in fantasy, but you are 400 points back, so there's no point.
Yeah. Let's just say I kind of forgot to set it before Indianapolis, which is kind of no surprise, but also a surprise, because I'm normally like, oh, when's the race start? And I'll go look, and after I look at when the race starts on my NASCAR app, I'll go put in my fantasy picks. But it completely went over my head because my wife wanted to watch the race with me. Mostly just to see what cars she liked the most, because as we've been going through my cars, she's been going, ooh, I like that one, ooh, I like that one, ooh, I like that one. So she wanted to see all the pretty colors.
Hey, she needs to pick a driver, one driver, maybe two, and stick with that one.
That's what I told her. But it was nice.
You can't get every pretty car that goes on the track.
No, she really wants the pickle car, though. I will say that. I don't take that out of context, but she does want Tom Gilliland's pickle car. So,
yeah, well, I mean, that pickle car did win $1 million this weekend, so
sure did. It sure did. But yeah, like you said, you're at 4,422, and I'm at 4,054. Probably no hope for me catching back up.
And for those of you that may forget, 100% spotted him an entire race, because I completely did not put a single driver in at all for Daytona. At least you got your 5 picks for the race. You didn't get the bonus point picks, but at least you got 5 picks for the race.
Yeah, but the only 2 people that got me points was Chris Buescher and Denny Hamlin. I also had Chase Elliott, Ross Chastain, and Ryan Blaney. And then for some reason, I had Joey Logano in my garage. If I had moved Logano out, I would have had a few more points.
Yeah, well, I mean, but the thing is I left, at least you left Indy with some points on the table. I left Daytona with 0 points on the table, and you had like 200 and something points.
Yeah, you're not wrong.
So that's a good old-fashioned butt whooping in the points this year.
Yeah.
And I'm not sure how they're going to do fantasy. Are they going to reset like the chase, or are we going to continue through like we have in the past?
That's a good question.
That would be interesting to see. I do know our picks reset. I think we get, even though we've used all of our picks, I think we get to pick them 5 more times in the chase. So that'll be nice, because I no longer have Denny Hamlin. I no longer have Ryan Blaney. I no longer have Chase Briscoe, and I no longer have Christopher Bell. And I have a Kyle Larson left because I've had him in my lineup for the past 3 races when he's wrecked. So I took him out of the lineup and put him in the garage, and it saved him.
Yeah. Yeah, I'm running. I'm not out of any drivers yet, but I'm really getting pretty close. Ryan Blaney, I got 2 more races with. Denny Hamlin's got 3 more races. Chase Elliott even has 3 more races. So, and I know there's a lot of others that I've used that are around the same amount of races left. So, you can definitely tell it's almost time for the chase. So,
Yep, we're starting to run out of drivers. Before you know it, we're gonna have Cody Ware. We're gonna have to pick Cody Ware because that's all we're gonna have left.
Yeah. Yeah. So.
If they ever do go back to full season points, they're gonna have to give us more than 10 uses on a driver, or we are going to end up having to pick Cody Wares.
Yeah. You are not wrong at all. So. Like we mentioned, 4 more races left in the Cup Series until the chase. Only 2 more left for O'Reilly's and the Craftsman Truck Series. This weekend is a completely off weekend for all 3 series, which kind of shocked me. I did not realize all 3 were off this weekend until I saw, I don't know, I think it was O'Reilly's put up their this week's race graphic, and it was just empty, and I was like, wait a minute, what? So
well, that's a good thing because I'm not going to be anywhere near a working TV all weekend. So
yeah, so it kind of worked out for your schedule.
Yep.
So we got left in the Cup Series, we got Iowa, Richmond, New Hampshire, 3 short tracks back to back, and then Daytona as our season finale. So that's going to be interesting with the 3 short tracks. For the O'Reilly Series, we got Iowa and Daytona. And for the Craftsman Truck Series, we got Richmond and New Hampshire. So, at least no more of all 3 series racing on a single weekend until after the chase starts. So that's interesting. So
yeah. Rich has been that the O'Reilly Series would be racing at.
I would agree with that.
I think they would put on a phenomenal race at Richmond.
Yes, I would agree with that for sure. So, that being said, that is pretty much it for the racing side of things. You mentioned at the very beginning of the episode talking about NASCAR 26. The Dev Diary came out over the weekend, I think. And today was today's the 29th. For those of you that don't know, maybe watching this in the future, probably. Today they released their gameplay trailer along with pre-orders. Pre-orders are now available, and I would say from that there was some good improvements, but some were indeed missed out. But I can also say the game isn't out yet, so I'm not going to judge it too big. I'll wait till the game comes out and I play it first, of course. I would also expect probably another Dev Diary or 2 to come out before release. But I have a list here of things that are new or improved. So we'll just kind of go down one, and if you want, you can quickly put your thoughts in. First off is a trophy room, displaying your
Okay, I like that.
trophy wins. I think that's cool. I love seeing the trophies. I don't even have them all still in NASCAR 25. It would be nice to know which ones I don't quite have, because after 7 seasons, I can't quite keep up with it.
There was the EA Sports old college football games. I don't know if the new college football games do that, but the old college football games had those trophy rooms, and it's really cool to go in and look and see what year you won what particular trophy in college football. So being able to do that in NASCAR is really awesome. Hopefully they don't reset after each season.
Yeah.
Like I would say you win the Daytona 500 4 times, there's only room for 3 trophies. Hopefully that's not the case, but that is an awesome idea, and something that's gravely been missing from all sports games here in the past decade or so.
Yeah, I will say the only game I'm aware of that kind of has a trophy area is NBA 2K. If you go to your player as my court, normally, at least in the past like 3 NBA games, you've had a nice little like 5 cubby holes for trophies, your MVP, your finals MVP, your championships, and then for the in-season tournament trophy. So it is going to be cool to see it in NASCAR. My question is it going to display everything, or do you have to go in and like you only can display like your certain ones? You can only display like up to 5, let's say 5, and you just pick your favorites or whichever. Is it going to be like that, or am I going to be able to just see all of them? That's the biggest question, I believe, with that one. But still, really cool addition, and it'll be awesome to see those. Of course, we get the chase mode. We have to do the playoffs, but you now get the chase mode. You can also now go in and kind of your play now or championship mode, just go in and set what 10 drivers or 12, 16 drivers you want in the chase, and just do the 10 races in the chase as well. So that's kind of nice. Improved paint kit. I didn't mess with paint kits too much on 25. To be honest with you, I just put the in the career, I just put the sponsor on it, put the number on the door, and went out to the racetrack. That's about all I did. I maybe changed the colors to go with the sponsor, but that was about it. Overhauled driving physics. So the driving physics were supposed to be supposedly improved. Enhanced control calibration tools. I know for the longest time a lot of the wheels calibrations would not work very well, so good to know that they worked on fixing that, because I know a lot of people are using their wheels for these console games. Obviously we got Naval Base Coronado added. This one I like, team facility upgrades. I think that's a big one. Instead of just upgrading your employees, which you don't even upgrade, you just kind of fire the old ones and hire better ones, which again is more realistic, but you can also give them training to improve them, in my opinion.
Yep, used to be able to do that in the old NASCAR games.
Yep, in Heat 5, not in the Heat series actually, you could do that.
Yeah.
Instead of Dale Jr. download, we're going to get door bumper clear. So expect some smack from Freddie Kraft. That almost rhymed, dadgummit. Yeah, I think that'll be interesting. This kind of goes along with the team facility upgrades, but it's all new race shops, so updated race shops. So that's pretty cool. I know this was one that was asked for big time, involved in caution screen. Now you'll get to see what kind of was the cause of cautions. They updated Coda. I know Coda had a lot of track restriction problems. I mean, a lot. You now can have as your spotter Freddie Kraft. I think that's interesting. Also have better particles. I know that was more for the part of being able to do burnouts after races. We have improved road course extents. We now have safety violations, new skyboxes. Rockingham has had a refresh. Dynamic lighting, so improved lighting. The new 750 horsepower package, which I believe is just for the immediate tracks, if I remember right. Improved graphics, of course, that's kind of a given. Motion blur enhancements. Another one that was asked for a lot, DNFs. There are now DNFs, but I don't know if it's driver included. They kept saying it was AI can DNF, but I never saw anything about the drivers being able to DNF. But I would suspect that it is a possibility. Chicagoland has been added. Yay. You can also now do left side tires only. The only track you're really going to do that out is Atlanta, though. But it's nice to have the option. We're going to have better replay cameras. And then we're also going to have the all-new Dodge Ram and the St. Petersburg course. And that's just the list for now, from what's been seen and talked about in just today. I would expect a couple more things, but obviously one of the biggest things I know that was asked for was in career silly season. You were asking for it, I was asking for it. A lot of the guys I race with in the console series was asking for it. They think it would be a really cool add-on, but it doesn't look like we're going to get something like that for now. So yeah.
I wish what they could do is they could do what 2K does with their NBA game, where if there's a roster change in the NBA, 2K will update their current game, to update that roster for like your play nows and career modes and stuff like that. So that I wish 2K would be able, or not 2K, but that iRacing would do something along those lines with NASCAR. If we got Alex Bowman retiring next year, but there's ride swaps that are happening that haven't happened yet that won't be in the game. And there's going to be drivers moving around that haven't been announced where they're going to be, so they won't be in those particular rides when the game is released, right? So if they could put in something where they could update those drivers, update those rosters, when those changes are announced with a patch or with something like that, that would be tremendous. But I still really do like the idea of the old EA Sports games where we could own a 2 and 3 and 4 car team, and I would like to be able to build that, from the ground up. You start with, you start driving for somebody else, and then you build your team, and you might start with one car, but then down 2 or 3 seasons down the road, now you've got enough money where you can go and buy a charter and start a second team, and so on and so forth, until you get up to your 3 teams. So that's something that is just as important to me as an in-season or as an in-career silly season, to be able to own multiple cars on the track. If you want to have a realistic racing game, you've got to have a game like that.
Yep. And I agree with that. And then just one more thing, if you guys are curious, it will be cross-platform this time. So you can play with your Xbox, PS5, PC buddies, if you guys are on different consoles. At this point, I don't blame you for whatever you're on, because PlayStation and Xbox both went goofy. But that's not this type of place to talk about that. But yeah. I believe the release date was September 26th.
That sounds correct.
Something like that. And of course,
that sounds right.
If you get the gold edition, you get it like 2 days earlier, something like that.
2 or 3 days, yeah.
So, yeah. So excited for that. I wonder if the release dates are the same for PC, because sometimes PC is a month after the initial release for the consoles. I need to look into that, because I plan on getting it on my PC since it is cross-platform. But yeah. That's about all I got for NASCAR 26.
Yeah, I'm somewhat looking forward to it. I'm not sure there's going to be enough difference for me. Obviously, I'm going to get the game, but I'm just not sure there's going to be enough differences, enough improvements yet for me to be super excited. It's going to be one of those I'm going to have to wait, see, and play the game before I can really give my true thoughts on it.
Yeah. Yeah, I can agree with that. So, yeah. So, do we have anything else before I talk about the lovely news I have?
No. Really, the only thing I can tell you is I have a diecast review. I'm trying to email it to you right now. It's uploading to the email very, very slowly. But hopefully I could get that to you in the next day or so, so you can get it put up this weekend. And that's really all I've got going on. I'm going to be completely out of pocket for the next 4 days.
Understandable. Yeah, I will say, so as you mentioned, diecast review will be up probably sometime after the podcast is up. So expected probably tomorrow evening or Friday on the 31st. I kind of need to figure out a way. I've got some cool diecast I can do some reviews on. Some of those that you don't typically see anywhere. Or they're just ones you don't typically think to get. So once I kind of figure out a space to do that in, right now I have nowhere. This is Duke Rider's thing. The diecast thing is all him. I'm just going to do a couple because I know I have them and he doesn't, just due to what they are. To be honest, most of them were gifts from Duke Rider anyway, so I don't think he'll be mad with me doing a few. So a couple of special different ones, but yeah, I don't want to take it away.
I know exactly which ones you're talking about too.
Yeah, but the diecast reviews is all Duke Rider. I'm just going to do a few and be done. I'm not going to do every single one I've got, like he's probably trying, or at least planning to do, trying to do. I don't know. But yeah, so anyways, if you have stayed tuned for this whole episode, awesome job. Now for the fun news I have. So, shout out to a coworker who gave me this news. He is also from our lovely home state of Arkansas, and his parents own a bar, and this bar is about to be popular. It's already popular, supposedly, but it's about to be super popular. There is, and the only reason I get to say this is because I was given approval to share this news, because it is officially in production, and I don't think it has any ties to Days of Thunder 2, which we didn't mention. Days of Thunder 2 is supposedly in production. I don't think it's tied into that. I think it's different, but I'm not 100% sure yet. But there is another NASCAR movie currently in production, and a lot of the scenes outside the car, of course, are going to be in that area at that bar that my coworkers' parents own. And I can also say to stay tuned. We are both trying to work a schedule where one of the lead actors will be coming through Texas, where I'm at, and we're trying to see if we can set up an exclusive interview with him for a special guest episode. I don't know if Duke Ryder will be able to make that, so it may just be me in the interview, but we will do our best to get that done. So there is a NASCAR movie in production, and I'm doing my best here to schedule a special guest interview with one of the actors in this movie. We haven't seen a NASCAR movie in a while. We've seen a lot of documentaries, of course, but the movies are fun. We love Days of Thunder, of course. Talladega Nights is one to just laugh at, of course. Super excited for this. I was really happy to get this news. I felt really special, I guess you could say, to hear this news and then be told, don't talk about it until we tell you to. Again, thank you to my coworker for telling me this news. So definitely stay tuned if you're interested in that special guest episode. Hopefully by the next podcast episode, I'll have more info to confirm whether or not I can get that episode or not. But we're trying very hard to schedule it and make sure and to get it to happen. So I just thought that would be some very fun news.
Unless the world burns down, I will be there for that interview. I will cancel whatever I have to cancel to be here to be part of that interview. That sounds really, really cool. And for y'all for those of you that are watching, I got no clue. I had no clue who this is or what this is about, but I will be there for this.
So, I don't know. I don't exactly know who the actor is. I'm just able to get into touch with him thanks to my coworker and his parents that own the bar that is going to be in a lot of the scenes, off-track scenes. So again, big thank you to them, and definitely stay tuned for that.
Well, but then comes the big question: is why haven't you already agreed to be an extra? Sitting in the bar or something during this video shoot. I mean, come on, dude.
I will talk to the actor. I will talk to the actor and see what happens. All right, don't count me out just yet. All right, we know my acting days are long from over. Okay, it's been a few years. I'm a little rusty.
Oh, I don't know. You're still a member of the thespian organization.
Actually, I think that expired, to be honest with you. But
oh well.
Yes, I did a lot of theater. I did a lot. I did theater my last 2 years of high school, and apparently I was good at it, according to just about everybody else that saw it. So don't count me out just yet. But yeah, I thought that would be some exciting news. Kind of get some excitement going for both ourselves and you lovely viewers watching. So definitely stay tuned for that.
Yeah, pretty cool.
So, but yeah.
I do want to mention that in September, Mark Martin is coming to Arkansas. He's coming to the Mark Martin Museum to do a book signing for his book. So I will be going. It is in late September. I will be traveling up there on that particular Saturday to get his book signed. He's also going to be signing other items, so I'm going to take 2, 3. I wish I could take about 15 of my Mark Martin diecast to get signed, but I'm not going to take up that much of the man's time. He is welcome to come stay at the house if he wants to. I mean, I can have him sign. It won't take him 30 minutes to sign all the diecasts I got. I don't have that many Mark Martin diecasts, but I am looking forward to that. Unfortunately, something else is going on that day that I'm going to have to miss, and that is Luke Duke is going to be, Tom Wopat is going to be out at Petty Jean Mountain at the auto museum that's out there. I missed when John Snyder was out there a little over a month ago, because that was the same weekend that we went to Illinois to go to Chicagoland. So I missed being able to meet John Snyder out there, and I'm going to also have to miss meeting Tom Wopat out there because I'm going to the Mark Martin Museum. So doggone it, I could have had some General Lee's autographed, but I went with Mark Martin stuff instead.
Hey, that's okay. You can ask him if he wants to be a guest on our episode.
Yeah, absolutely. I mean, obviously, that's going to be one of the things that...
Might as well throw it in there.
To talk about. I mean, and the truth of the matter is, that would give us some legitimacy. Getting an actor, getting a retired driver. Maybe one of these days we can hoodwink Carson Hocevar into coming on as a guest. Of course, you've met and spent some time with Noah Gregson, so maybe we could get Noah and stuff like that. So, and hey, you know, they come to Texas twice a year. You're not too terribly far from either one of the racetracks. So, we're actually looking at Texas Motor Speedway for next year. So, maybe we can get some of these guys on and have a little fun.
Yep, absolutely. And I will try to get some equipment prepared to at least get some sort of vlog. Maybe, you know, if we're in the pits, I can just go up to the driver and ask him a couple questions with the camera on. But, you know, but there's obviously some big good things coming our way. Hopefully we can make them even bigger with some of the opportunities we're going to be able to hopefully pitch. So exciting, of course, as always. So, but there's also still some racing to go, some news to come out, and some championships to win. So we're not done for this season at all. Still got a long ways to go. So stay tuned. Make sure you subscribe so you know when the next episode's out. So
absolutely. So we can give some shout outs. First and foremost, I do want to, we've mentioned the Scene Vault podcast. We've talked about that for a couple of years now with Rick Houston. Steve Lade recently passed away. Rick announced he is battling cancer. So everybody, please keep Rick Houston in your prayers. He does have a fighting spirit, so just keep him in your prayers. Also, Rick was very instrumental in the old magazine called the Winston Cup Scene, and that's where the Scene Vault podcast name comes from. He has took it upon himself to scan and digitize every single issue of that magazine, newspaper. But unfortunately, he does not own the rights to make it available to the public. So we are appealing to Dirty Mo Media, Dale Jr., and anybody out there who could help Rick to be able to, if Rick doesn't own the rights, at least buy the rights from the current company that owns them, so that Rick's work, where he has scanned all of these issues, is preserved forever, and is also made where it can be made available to the fans. Because I've got several, I actually have a tote full of the old paper copies, but I would love to go back and really learn the history of, because if you're going to learn the history of the sport, Where are you going? You're learning through watching races. You're going to learn it through reading the newspapers and the magazines of the back those days. Just want to give a shout out to Rick as well. When we post this, I'll tag him. But just be thinking and praying about Rick, for Rick and his family. And then of course there's Door Bumper Clear, which we mentioned is going to be part of the NASCAR.
What's up, everybody? I apologize. For some reason, my recording software decided to stop recording there at the end, so I do apologize for that. I will just go ahead and finish off our shout-outs for this episode, and hopefully this won't happen again. No idea why it stopped, but I do apologize for that. So there's probably just a little jump to this. I know the last thing Duke Rider said as I looked at the footage was NASCAR. He was talking about Door Bumper Clear with Freddie Kraft, which Freddie Kraft will be a spotter in NASCAR 26, along with Door Bumper Clear being the podcast in your career on NASCAR 26. You've got Dell Jr. download with Dell Jr. of course. Actions Detrimental with Denny Hamlin. The Teardown with Jeff Gluck and Jordan Bianchi. Happy Hour with Kevin Harvick. You also have Speed with Kevin Harvick and William Buxton. So those are all podcasts. Make sure to check them all out. And then also those on X/Twitter, whatever you want to call it. Bob Pockrass, Matt Weaver, Jayski on X. Also check out jayski.com for every race stats. They're really awesome there. Couch Racer on X, and then Brock Beard on X and YouTube. So check them all out. All the links are down in the description down below. Podcasts are the Apple Podcast. Just search it if you are on any other podcast listening app. And then of course all the X handles are in the link down below as well. Then also check out our favorite Circle B diecast for all your diecast needs. Probably about 95% of our diecast reviews are diecast from Circle B, so we thank Circle B for that. So make sure to check out Circle B diecast for some diecasts. So make sure to check out all those podcasts and all those lovely people on Twitter, X, whatever you want to call it, as well for more racing news. And then also there is, of course, the partners of the channel. You got Dubby, Fearless Energy Blend, and POGGERS Energy Blend. Up to you which one you love, but to me they're both really, really good, so check them both out. You also got our apparel. You got Rankest Rope Ranchwear, your 80s rodeo and western style apparel. Then you got Undrdog Athletix and Follow Him Apparel for your faith-based apparel. And then also if you're looking for a chair that's much more comfortable for whether it's office work or gaming, make sure to check out Blacklyte. They also have desk, standing desk as well if you are looking for a new desk, but their chairs are really, really comfortable. So all the links are down in the description down below, along with what could you use at checkout. And also, once again, all the links for the podcast and the Twitter handles are in the link for the other shout outs as well, excuse me. Thank you guys so much for watching. I appreciate it. Make sure you hit that like and subscribe if you're new to the channel. Hit the notification bell so you know when whether we're live or there's new content on the channel. There's a lot of exciting things coming up soon, so definitely recommend trying to stay tuned for all that. But yeah, thank you guys again for watching. Make sure to check all the links down in the description. Excuse me. Also, if you want to join the Discord, I do have a Discord. Trying to build the community. You want to come make some recommendations or just ask some questions. Get to know us. Get to know. Maybe fill some questions out for the podcast or something. Join the Discord. Links down in the description down below as well. Yeah, thank you guys so much for watching. Hope you guys enjoyed, and we will see you guys in the next one. So remember, be bold, share Jesus, right on. Peace.